Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, and I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We're on each and every week. We try to bring solutions to you, the buyer and seller, in each and every real estate transaction that you may do. Most people are only going to do one, right? You're going to buy a house, and then you're going to live in that house for 30 to 40 years. You want to raise a family. You want to do things that is, quote unquote, the American dream. Own a home, raise a family, retire, and then eventually pass your property on to your siblings or down to your children. It's legacy. It's perfect. It's what it's supposed to do. But let's back up a second. At the beginning of your transaction, when you're trying to figure out, do I trust my agent? Am I getting the right rate? Am I trusting my agent to get me the best price? Are things being disclosed to me properly? I'm the buyer, I don't know anything. The agent's getting paid on this deal and the seller is just looking to leave town. That's the way buyers think. Now, I understand that. Why? This is the biggest monetary transaction you're ever going to make. It is a huge commitment. Most people, 30-year fixed rate loan, which they're going to have to pay for 360 months in a row. Comprehend that. Get your arms around that. Most loan officers will tell you, you're not focused on 360 payments, you're focused on one payment. The first payment you have to make, and then the next payment you have to make. And if that is something that you can afford based on your current income, we can get you a loan. Rates are terrific right now. Understand that that's a good thing. However, house prices have been going up. Another good thing for a buyer is inventory has increased to 3.5 months. Now, when you have an equal buyer to seller market, you have about 6 months worth of inventory. So we're still slightly to the seller side of the inventory. Of the real estate market, meaning that the advantage still goes to the seller. However, if you're a buyer, you can still ask for things like some concessions, maybe some repairs. Maybe you can choose your own title and escrow companies. Now, I'm throwing out these terms that we use in the business, and every one of those companies that I just mentioned get paid off of this transaction. So as a buyer, I certainly can understand that you being a little hesitant and a little nervous. The best thing to do in any situation, whether you're a buyer or a seller, if you have the time, now I know a lot of people don't have the time. Myself, I am booked from morning till night and have been for the last 25 years. It is very difficult for me, and I'm sure many of you out there who work, who raise kids, who do charitable work, who go to the church or to the synagogue or to the mosque every week. It's a very time-consuming life. To sit there and now for me as the real estate guy, like the dentist who says, oh no, you got to come in for an appointment every 3 to 6 months. Or the doctor, you got to come in twice a year for a checkup. The demands on your time are huge. But think about this for a second. You're going to make 360 payments for 30 years. You're going to live in this house for the rest of your life potentially. Probably the best thing you can do is interview a few people. Get to know somebody. I know a lot of people get referrals. Hey, my cousin does this. I know a guy at work who had a great relationship with their agent. Hey, this loan officer did my Aunt Sally's loan. The best thing to do, and I'm telling you, take your time and do it, is to interview people. 5 minutes on the phone. Meet them in person for coffee if you have a chance. The reason is this relationship has got to be built on trust. If you were going to invest money in any business, let's say that you were going to invest in a donut shop and you were going to walk in and the investment required a $30,000 down payment and you had to put $2,000 a month aside for continued payments for up to a year, believe me, you would be interviewing these people. I'm talking about a house purchase which may be $300,000 stretched over 360 payments. Interview people you work with. Look for a good referral, but don't be shy about asking the tough questions. All of these things is going to save you grief and headaches in the long run. And if you can get together with your significant other, your spouse, whoever you're buying the house with, and come up with a game plan, these are the things that are going to help you through the process, and I hope it's a good one for you. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification in an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with Super Grow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your Super Grow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in. We're on each and every week, and the show brings to you some solutions, some questions, maybe answers to problems that you might have if you're a buyer or a seller. We talk about all things in the real estate world, in the real estate market, from loans to escrow to title. Also, if you're a buyer or a seller, you got to work with that agent a lot of times. Sometimes you don't, and we can talk about that too. With us today is a terrific person, investor, real estate agent, business owner, Janti Chun. Janti, how are you?
Hey, good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And
good,
you?
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the market right now.
Las Vegas market. Well, what's happened the last few months was we had a little of a pause. I guess that's what I'll call it. Now, it's still a seller's market.
Right.
Inventory has increased a little bit. I think we're up to around 10,000 right now for single family and condos combined.
What is that? 3.5 months worth of inventory? 4, something?
No, not 4.
Not 4.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we're
So
still
it's
under 4.
Right. It's still a seller's market.
It's still a seller's
Right.
market, but the last few months, what I've noticed, including some of my coworkers as well, were that our listings wouldn't move as quickly. So
Right.
now I think the average days on the market is about 60 roughly.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're all a little sweating. We're like, oh, we have these
Well, 60
listings.
days in perspective is
Yeah.
really not that much,
That's
right?
the average, but like
Right.
certain areas, depending on where the listing was, if there were a little bit more sales,
Right.
or more properties on the market, it was a little bit tougher. So for me, I was like, oh my goodness, mine have been up, at about 60 right now. So I am a little, I'm sweating because my clients are like, hey, what's going on? It's not moving. So we've had to drop the price, and I think collectively that's what's happened a little bit. So the price have dropped just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not crazy, obviously, but depending on the property and the area. I mean, some areas it's moving very quickly. Still.
Now, you say price drop. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean? Like a couple $1,000, 5,000 at tops, more, 10?
Anywhere between a few thousand to 30,000.
Oh, I see. So it just
Yes.
really depends on where the property was originally priced. How do you do that? Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
The main thing most sellers think about when they think about selling their property is one, how much can I get for it? And 2, how much do I have to pay the real estate agent?
Yes.
Right.
True.
So when you're negotiating these things, give
Yeah.
us an idea of how that works.
Well, what I do is I always do a net sheet for my clients, buyer
Yep.
and seller, basically. Break down every single fee that has to do with their costs, for selling it. So now, as far as pricing it, I do comps, and I do it within, if there's enough comp in the community then that's enough to set a good price. So I just kind of look at, okay, what everyone is listing for per square foot as compared to sold per square foot as well, depending on, pool or whatnot. Single story,
1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3
exactly.
bedroom, bathrooms,
You
all
look,
that.
you kind of look at all that, and so for me, I always show everything to my client, to my seller. I say, look, well, this is what this is sold for. This is what is for sale or that's available. So let's pick something in the range of in between. If you want to move it, but depending on their situation, some sellers might want to sell a lot faster, so they don't mind, kind of listing at a lower price.
Right.
And some sellers are like, you know what, I don't need to sell it very quickly, so you know what, I want to be on that kind of higher end.
The
So it
worst,
just
the
depends.
worst seller I have, and now all sellers are difficult because they want the most for their money, and they all think their houses are the most special house in the neighborhood. It just seems to roll that way.
Usually, yes.
Right?
Usually, yes. Especially if they've lived in it and it's their primary residence. Now, for investors like myself, that's not the case, obviously.
When you're negotiating with them on your particular fee, now this is always a sore spot. Everyone is trying to get at the person who is selling their house, which is a very tough job. You're quarterbacking an entire and full range of different disciplines, and having to know and have the expertise in title and escrow and inspections and negotiations and working with the other agent. It's not simple, and it takes a long time, but they always come back and try to take money out of your pocket. How do you deal with that particular aspect of our business?
Absolutely, you're right on that. For the most part, now I've been fairly lucky in that department because it is explaining everything that you have to do. Fortunately for me, I have a lot of return clients, and they've worked with me for years, so they know exactly what my job entails, and so there's not a lot of negotiation, but once in a while there is. And and it just depends on the price. And sometimes I do. Now, if I have a client that I've worked with for a long, long time, and I know that the net amount that they'll get for the house isn't exactly maybe a lot or where they want it to be, so I'll work with them on that. That's not a problem. Or if I bring a buyer as well, if I have the seller, that's my client, I bring a buyer, I'll negotiate the fee for that.
Yes, it's funny. I don't know of a real estate agent who doesn't think in the same way. You're working with someone, you get pretty close to a buyer, you get pretty close to a seller, especially when you're going through some very tense times. And the 3 stages of the transaction, which is getting into the contract, getting through the inspection, and then closing the darn thing. All 3 of those points can be extremely stressful, and you get close to people.
Absolutely.
And so helping them out with, I'll pay this or I'll help you out with that is certainly something that all real estate agents do. When it comes to the home inspection, tell me a little bit about how you deal with an inspector. You're working with a seller, let's say, an inspector comes in and you get the inspection report, and it has a lot of debilitary or derogatory things on the report. That's always a point of contention. How do you deal with it?
Well, usually though, when you work with a seller, you wouldn't necessarily get that inspection report. It's only if you work with a buyer. Buyer's 100%.
Well,
right?
when they send their repair list, you get something.
Oh, right. From the buyer.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. You just have to sit down with your client and just be direct and upfront about, hey, well, this is an independent inspector that did this. It's not, a family member or anything like that for the buyer. I mean, it could be, but this is written out, so it's very detailed. An inspection report is very, very detailed, and then the inspector, usually the really good ones, put everything. I mean, just even minor things.
Right.
They have to, because they have to
There are
cover their butts.
liabilities at stake as well.
Exactly. So my sellers are usually pretty good. It's like, okay, a lot of times sellers already know what the issues are with the house. And sellers have to disclose all the issues anyways already if they live in the property,
Another
right?
can of worms, but go ahead.
Right. Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. You're right, they're supposed to, okay, at least.
I'm just saying.
Right. So when you have the inspection report come out and it's very detailed, I just sit down with myself and I'm like, well, this is what they want. It seems pretty, legit, and it seems to be a real issue. I mean, if you want to move forward with this transaction, I recommend that you fix it or something, So it has to be kind of a give and take.
Sure.
And a lot of times, as you already know, when buyers and sellers are in contract, you're already in, 10 days or 14 days or
That's
whatever.
right.
You don't want to just lose it over something, minor like that. So,
Right.
yeah, for the most part, though, I can always convince each side to do what they have to do.
you get beat up a lot in transactions sometimes, right? I mean, I say a lot because maybe it's me, but it could be that the transactions themselves
Jeff.
are difficult, and it's been a tough month. And no, I'm just kidding. Dealing with that and then come to fresh to the next person is taxing, obviously.
Yes.
And it's also taxing for the business at large. Do you think in Las Vegas right now we're at the point whereby after this 10-year run of housing prices going up, of the demand more than it was obviously then, of people having more equity in their houses, there's a lot of pressure on, I guess, the market in and of itself just because of the fact that we've gone through this upcycle. Do you see the upcycle lasting? Do you see, where do you see real estate prices heading?
Where do I foresee, man? If I had that crystal ball,
Of course, I
all of
understand
us.
that you're guessing. I know.
I don't feel that, and I've said this many times now, you're right, we have been on this upswing for a while now, and usually every, decade, right?
Right.
The bubble kind of burst.
Right.
In this situation, we've already kind of surpassed that bubble already anyways. I know everyone's a little kind of
Right.
scared, tiptoeing, like, oh, are you sure? I don't see it. I see the market still being good for the next 2 to 4 years.
Okay.
Only because of the growth. I mean, the influx, and we still have a lot of people moving, like I said last time, 4,000 a month are moving to Las Vegas still.
Right.
4,000 are staying. I mean, rentals out of control.
Out of control,
I can't
yeah.
keep a rental. I mean, every time I list a rental, it's gone within days. Days. I mean, so the demand is still here. So as long as we still have the demand, the market will still be good.
Gentil, thanks very much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate your expertise. Thanks very much.
Awesome to be here as always.
Okay, excellent. And I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll be right back.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we're on each and every week. We bring to you some interesting guests as well as solutions, maybe try to answer some questions and give you a perspective on what's going on here in the Valley. There's a lot of opportunity in real estate, as everybody knows. Most millionaires in the U.S. did it through real estate. Buy low, sell high. And so we try to aid you in understanding both the complexities of each individual transaction, but also the opportunities that are out there. There are plentiful and numerous in the world of real estate. And so we hope you tune in each week. And again, thank you for tuning in. With me again today is Gentil Chun, who I wanted to talk to her a little bit about what's going on in your life personally as well as a business owner. I know that in Las Vegas, I belong to one of the chambers of commerce in town, and they have 400 or 500 members. Now in Las Vegas, there are probably 7 or 8 chambers of commerce, depending on the culture and the ethnicity of the particular group that gets together. But that means just with the Chamber of Commerce, there are thousands of businesses out there, and not related to gambling or not related to the Strip. Las Vegas has turned into a different kind of city than it was when I first got here 15 years ago. Tell us about your particular story, getting here and opening up your business, which you can tell us about now.
Oh, okay, so
is that good?
Yeah, sure. Sounds great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure to share. So my store is called Mon Amour. It is a gelato and dessert store. I had to rebrand it here the last few months because I was part of a franchise that came from Europe. Beautiful franchise, but it just cost too much money, and we almost went under basically. So I had to rebrand, change the name. Now the business is still there. We're in Premium North Outlet, and we have an array of desserts and gelato, macaroons, waffles, crepes, everything. So it's delicious. Come on by when you have a chance.
Okay, where's the address? Come on, let's plug
Premium
it.
North Outlet, 875 875 South Grand Central Parkway in the Spaghetti Bowl.
I
so
see.
right off Charleston. So you need to come, Jeff.
I absolutely need
Jesus.
to come.
Okay.
No, it's very good. Business owner, being a business
Yes.
owner, being someone who is in the community. What do you like about it? What you don't like about it?
I love being a business owner for the mere fact that I can provide employment. Honestly, that is why I worked so hard to keep the business, basically because of my employees. You know, I wanted them to have a job, and that was my main thing. Honestly, I try to spend more time there now to oversee it, and but I don't want to micromanage my employees. They've all been there since day one, so they're really, really good kids. They're younger, 19, 20, 21.
Right.
Less than 25. So it's challenging because being in Vegas, and Vegas is growing very rapidly, there are a lot of businesses and there are a lot of competition. So you have to have something new and exciting, in essence, in Las Vegas, because every place you go, is equally as good, for the most part, right? And if you're not, trust me, people will know very quickly.
Right.
So we have sustained and been, we've stayed there and have been, been able to sustain ourselves in our business because we have good products, basically, And but yeah, I mean, it does get challenging at times, being a business owner, the money aspect of it. Sometimes I work for free, so.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part of it, right? I have the same idea about business. I own a business as well. It's a business that I've owned for almost 20 years. A lot of times it is about, okay, that person needs the job because without it, they're not going to be able to pay their rent. This person is going to school. Without it, they can't further their education. And on down the line with many of the different people that work for me. And I have a number of people that do. So it becomes more about providing that. And I like that attitude that you talk about. I think a lot of business owners have that attitude, but we get caught up a lot in the internet about how to make millions by doing something that is either an app or something else, or how AI is going to take over customer service. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I hope it doesn't happen because the interaction between business owner, the public, and the employees is one that is very difficult to replace.
Yeah, you're right. But I do see it going that way just a little bit because the millennials, I was kidding.
The millennials, yes.
I don't know, for the most part, their attitude is a little bit different from our generation. It seems like they're okay with going online and doing things online, and just like retail, a lot of stores are closing because everyone's just moving online.
Amazon.
It's just easier, so it's easier to just order. You don't have to speak to anyone, basically, right?
Right, and you can return it the next day if it doesn't fit, or however you.
I don't know. I mean, with that discussion, we can go even further, and that it may take a lot longer. So, I don't know if I want to go down that route, but.
No, I understand. You're doing a lot of other things. I mean, you're in television. You're doing a lot of promotion work. You've obviously been successful at that. Tell us a little about that.
Well, I am on a reality show that's airing on July 10th on Lifetime Network. So it's called Marrying Millions. And basically, it's about couples that have a very big financial gap. One is really rich and one is not so rich at all. So
I see.
So yeah, if you get a chance to tune in, there's a lot of drama.
I can imagine. I only know from personal experience. I married into a family whose father was a self-made guy, and he would marry several different types of gals who were much younger. And there was always a bit of a tension. I mean.
Yes.
So,
we have that couple on there. Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes. We have that couple that is very big in age gap.
Right.
Yes. So.
Do you like it? Is it more acting? Is it improv? What is it like? You take a character. This is who you are. Is it kind of?
Yeah. It's reality show, right?
Yes, of
so
course. Right.
It's supposed to be reality for the most part.
Right.
It is who we are. I think there's some aspects where there is some acting, but not everyone are actors. I mean, I'm not an actress.
Right.
I haven't taken an acting day in my one acting class at all in my whole life. So I'm just kind of going with it basically, and it's fun. The experience is just absolutely enjoyable. So,
Excellent. So you like being in front of the camera?
At times, you know,
At times.
there are times where I kind of get stumped. I'm like, oh, you know, what do I do or what
Well,
do
you
I
have
say?
to, yeah, you have to not only think on your feet, but be in the moment. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a juxtaposition in terms of, you know, can I add more because you're thinking, and now all of a sudden you're out of it.
Right, right. And there are parts that's very emotional, and those are definitely real, you know, the emotion part. And unfortunately, I get, you know, quite emotional.
You
A
do.
lot of the scenes. Yeah.
Well, so you say emotional. What does that actually mean? Does that mean you're mad, you're crying, you're
Yeah.
frustrated, all of that?
Yeah, well, more crying and sad. You
I
know,
see.
there's some sadness to my life, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
the producers and directors are able to bring that out. when
I
they-
see.
Yeah.
So it's kind of direct a scene a certain way, and then you
Yeah.
guys take up the ball and
Right.
improvise it.
Right. Yeah. No, it's real emotions.
I see. Well,
So-
I guess it's interesting. Your background in real estate and what you do, I guess, for your main job, supplemented or augmented by this kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
makes it very interesting, but also very busy. How do you find time to relax and take it easy?
You know, not a lot of time at all, but when I do have that time, I'm in my bed for the whole day. But
Oh,
but I
okay.
like it. I love the, you know, just go go go. That's my lifestyle and that's my personality anyways. I get bored easily, I
Mm-hmm. Right.
think. So I love all these things that I can fit into one day.
Now, you came to Las Vegas, obviously, and the city itself lends it to being busy. Obviously, there's a lot going on here, a lot of opportunities in both the real estate world and in being an entrepreneur and a business owner.
Right.
And now you're going to be a successful reality star.
Hopefully.
Yeah, don't you think?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
That's
I think
interesting.
so.
Yeah.
I feel good about it. I mean, but for me in life, it's just experiences. For me to be able to have these experiences, and I mean, I'm grateful. I'm
Okay.
grateful for all of it.
That's excellent. Now,
Yeah.
I know you have a give back side to you. Tell us a little bit about that, about trying to help the community or give back a little bit. I know that you do a lot of that kind of work.
I try to fit that in as well. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not able to be there personally to help with the community, giving back in any way at all, you know, volunteering and stuff like
Sure.
that, I just donate. So
Yeah.
I need to make more money so that I can just donate more.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on and sharing a lot about you personally as well as the professional side in the real estate world. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks very much. That's Shanti Chun. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll see you next time.